Hi there, friends. How would you like to never buy a cleaning product again? Come along and I'll show you how. Hi there, I'm glad you joined me today. I'm going to show you how we can build a tote to clean your entire house without a single commercial cleaning product. Why do you want to do this? Because it removes toxins from your home, from your family's lives, and from our environment. Furthermore, it saves you so much money. And if that's not enough reason for you, I don't know what is. So here's how I build a cleaning supply tote from a few basic ingredients that you probably already have in your house right now. All right, so I'm going to show you our supplies here. So I have some spray bottles. Now mine are glass, but any spray bottle will work. Just make sure it's clean so that you're not risking mixing ingredients or chemicals that could potentially be dangerous, such as ammonia and bleach. We would never combine those because any bleach containing product mixed with ammonia can release toxic fumes. Just another reason that I just don't even use them in my regular life. Okay, so some spray bottles. We have some scrubbies. I've got a scrub brush that I can fill. And I have a bamboo toothbrush that I can use for small areas. I keep a pair of scissors in here because you just never know. It seems like there's always something that's going to need trimmed. Got a couple different scrubbers. These were made by a sweet lady who does I think it's crocheting, not knitting. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. Pretty sure it's crochet. I have these fabulous unpaper towels. They're like cloth paper towels made out of cotton flannel. They're made by the Sewing Cottage. I'll link them below. You can find them at thesewingcottage.net. Super soft. They work wonderful for buffing glass and your faucets and things. I also have just a couple of like bar towel type rags, just terry cloth rags. I use these for things I don't want to mix in or when I'm just working on a really hard little surface that I need to get clean, but it's not about polish, buffing, nice finishing. I keep a cute little cup down in here to hold my scrub brushes and things in just for convenience. I have this is just a very basic tote bin. I think I picked it up somewhere for a few dollars. I keep my little scrubbies in here in that little jar. And then I tuck my cloths in, so I've got those on hand at all times. Okay, and then my spray bottles are going to live on this side. All right, so that's what the tote looks like. Now, here are the supplies that we use to make our cleaning products. Just a few items. First, I'll talk about what I use for a little bit of fragrance if I want to add that. We never use any kind of artificial fragrance, and we're also very cautious about even essential oils and things because there still are VOCs in there, and that can be a lung irritant. It can make things like asthma flares. Sometimes they're not safe for animals, so we're super cautious. I do use citrus essential oil sometimes, just a drop or two here and there. And then the other thing I use is vanilla, and this is my homemade infused vanilla in vodka. This is super simple to make. I can dilute it down for a room spray, and it's not going to irritate anybody, and it just smells like somebody is baking. And isn't that a smell we all love? I have some baking soda. I just moved this into a small jar. You can keep whatever size jar you'd like to in here, but that way I'm not having to go back to the kitchen for it. I've got one right here in my cleaning tote. And then my supplies that I build the cleaners from. White distilled vinegar, very basic, 5% acidity, super inexpensive. And then hydrogen peroxide. Now, 3% is what you want, which is what the dilution is that you buy in the first aid department. You can simply use these bottles from the first aid supply, or you can do like I more often do, and that is I buy a gallon of food grade. And I purchased this at 12%, and then I dilute it myself. So 1 gallon actually makes 4 gallons of 3% hydrogen peroxide, which is the perfect ratio for cleaning. So when I dilute this, for every cup of peroxide, I will add 3 cups of water. And finally, I have Castile soap. This is a liquid soap. It's a traditional soap. It's very easy to use. You dilute it pretty significantly. I use it for everything in my house. A gallon of it lasts me probably at least 18 months, maybe 2 years, depending on how much I'm diluting. And then one final thing that we use sometimes, it's more of a rare cleaning, is standard isopropyl alcohol, again from your first aid supply. This can be very useful for doing things like if somebody got marker, permanent marker on something, it'll clean it up nicely. It also helps things evaporate so they don't streak. So there are definite purposes for isopropyl alcohol, but we use it pretty minimally. Okay, and let me tell you about one of the things I make. This is my citrus infused vinegar. And I can show you in another video how I actually make this. If you'd like to know, leave me a comment below. It's very simple, but this gives us a lovely little citrus smell to that white vinegar, which then I use in an equal part of citrus vinegar, and I use reverse osmosis water, but purified water, clean water, whatever, half and half to make a lovely multi-purpose spray cleaner. This can be used on anything in your house. We typically use this on solid surfaces, not on glass, because the ratio of vinegar is a little higher and it could potentially lead to glass etching over time. So countertops, toilets, sinks, floors, walls, doorknobs, you get the point. And then for glass, mirrors, glass, windows, I would use a ratio of 2 cups of water with 1/4 cup isopropyl alcohol and 1/2 cup white vinegar. And you can add a drop or 2 of essential oil if you'd like to have a little bit of a smell into it. Now this makes a great glass cleaner. You can use on your windows and your mirrors and any other shiny surface. And it won't etch it because it's a lower ratio of the vinegar acid. And it evaporates quickly so it doesn't leave streaks because of the isopropyl alcohol. That's the reason you add that to it. So what I would do is I spray it on a cloth first. And then I clean the mirror or the window in circular motion. And then I go back with a dry cloth and I just repeat circular motion, and it's clean and beautiful. One more trick is, let's say you have something that needs a deep scrub, like it's just got some buildup, it's crummy. There's a couple things you can do. One, you can take and make a paste of baking soda and water, just a thick paste, and scrub it into that, and then rinse it off and wipe it down. You also can use this if you like with vinegar, either the citrus vinegar or the plain white vinegar. And it will fizz and bubble. You probably remember your school science projects about your fizzy baking soda. And you can just really scrub and get in there good and get it nice and clean if needed. It makes a great just drain freshener, just to sprinkle it over your sinks, your drains. Let it wait a few minutes and then flush it with really hot water, and it just kind of freshens everything up. Sometimes I'll sprinkle it over. I'll pour a little bit of lemon juice on top, which isn't something I have with me today because I typically use my lemon vinegar versus an actual lemon juice. You can use either one, pour it on top, let the citrus infuse into the baking soda, let it sit for a bit, and then rinse it clean. And then the final tip I have for you today is to keep your house smelling fresh. Just use that vanilla in the spray bottle, like I mentioned. Now keep in mind, it is slightly brown, so you want to be careful about where you spray it. Some of my tricks are, I'll spritz it onto the entry mats at the doors. I'll spritz it on the inside of the toilet paper roll there on the tube to kind of freshen it when you're cleaning the bathroom. You also could spritz it onto a cloth that you kind of leave tucked in somewhere to kind of let the smell diffuse over time. Lots of different options. I don't just randomly spray it out in the room because then you might end up with a little bit of brownish discoloration on anything light colored that it was to touch. Okay. Another option is you can mix it into your cleaners if you'd like. I'm not a huge fan of the vanilla with the vinegar smell. I'd much rather do the citrus with the vinegar and then just have the vanilla as an overlay later when I want a little freshening in the house. So friends, thanks for joining me today. I just know this is going to save you so much money. It's really simple. This doesn't take very much time, and you have a ready tote to keep your house sparkling clean and fresh without toxic chemicals. If you'd like to know more about why we avoid toxic chemicals, feel free to leave me a comment below. I'm happy to share more information with you, but I won't go into that in this video. So friends, thanks for joining me. Blessings upon your day, and stay prepared.